It's Clayton Keller, and you're listening to Missin Curfew.
Welcome back to a fresh new episode of Missin Curfew Updogg.
The Monday edition. What's up, Big O's?
I like the Monday editions. I think our listeners like them.
Yeah, a little interview Mondays.
I listened to the Knuckles and Island one.
What should we call it? Shooting the shit Mondays here at Missin Curfew?
Fucking IV Monday.
I think it's fucking IV Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
It was last week.
The Fridays get you.
The Thursday got me. The Thursday got me last week. Shout out to the 2-time Stanley Cup champs, 3-time Stanley Cup finalists, Tampa Bay Lightning.
They'll get you. You got fucking hit with lightning, bud.
That's what a good squad they got.
You had your one iron, the old fucking hanging up in the air.
We don't need to. We don't need to say who it was, but we laid the wood to a couple of the players. Well, we'll leave the names out of it,
and then they alohaed us on the last hole.
You know, people ask us about the Sandbagger and the boys at Chicklets, the OGs. Judging off that round there, I don't know. We were pretty good. We were pretty good.
You were a good 6.
Yeah, I shot 78. You shot what, 72?
That was good.
At one point, we had these. We'll leave them unnamed. We had them like 5-3-1. We had them bent over every which way. It's a fun day. They got a good group of guys.
Great group. Yeah, that's why they win.
Starts with their head coach, John Cooper. So, Coop, we love you. Updogg, great guest today. You got him, so thank you for doing that. Big part of the boys here. Obviously, Clayton Keller, a guy that, listen, I watched Phoenix play last week. Played unbelievable against the Florida Panthers, Matty Tkachuk. They beat him 3-1. Their power play up all year has been great. They've cost me some money. You know that. They cost me in Toronto. They cost me in Columbus. This kid's a big part of it.
Yeah. I remember seeing the line going into Toronto, just kind of secretly hoping that they'd kick their ass. Because I'm like, how do you have a plus 420 or minus 480? It's just a joke. Like in professional sports, like we've talked about this. They all have sticks and skates on. Like they're going to fucking go out and compete.
Exactly.
How's the line 5-1? Now, in saying that, Clayton Keller, great kid. I say kid, you brought it up. He's 6 years in the league now. I remember I was playing in St. Louis, and he's a St. Louis native. I believe it's his cousin, and I'm probably butchering this.
24 years old.
Chad, our assistant trainer at the time, it's his nephew. Okay. So he was always talking about him, like, hey, my nephew's coming up through UCH, the USJHL, blah, blah, blah. And he's fucking going to be a highly touted draft pick. And then watching him get, to the Yotes, my old squad alumni. How are you? It was nice to see, him play in his hometown. I was in that game in St. Louis, and then, watching him be in the All-Star game. That's where we met him last year when we did the Fella Tour. So he was kind enough to come on, chat a little bit about his injury, which was, was devastating. He's having a career year last year and breaks his leg. Scary shit, but he worked, climbed the mountain. He's back on. He's got a nice, young, hungry fucking Coyote team playing some great hockey right now.
I'm on board. Yeah. I'm jumping on the Coyotes bandwagon. I mean, they play great. That Mullet Arena, which we're going to get into it with them about, is unbelievable. Yeah. And I'm looking at his stats here. His first full year in the National League, 23 goals, 14, 17, 14, and 28 last year in 67. Yeah. Fuck, those are good numbers coming right out of.
He's a good young player.
Yeah,
he's a good young player, and I didn't get a chance to ask him in the interview, but I always wanted to know, Clayton Keller, who do you look up to when you were a young kid? And I'm just going to say probably number 88, Patty Kane. Yeah. Looks like him, plays like him, fucking throws sauce like him. He has a knack. He has a knack for that offensive ability, but I hear he's a great penalty killer. Plays a lot of penalty kill. He's doing things back and forth on the ice. I think I saw a stat last year. He was top 5 in forward penalty kill minutes in the league. So you got to appreciate the way he's playing on both sides of the puck. But now he's at the age where younger players coming in are going to be like, I want to play like Clayton Keller. I like the way this kid plays.
Yeah, he's got good style.
And Phoenix is a city and a little area of the world that, hockey's growing there. Austin Matthews came out of Phoenix. There's a lot of young, Northerners come down, live in Phoenix. Their kids are hockey fans. They get to come up. So they're going to be watching him play. And, he's got a lot on his shoulders being a top tier franchise player for the Phoenix Coyotes.
Yeah.
Arizona Coyotes.
The Arizona Coyotes, and he's having a great year again. 10-9. He's got 10 points in 9 games. They're fun to watch. They compete. They play hard. Clayton Keller coming at you, fella. Welcome back to Missin Curfew. Updogg. I watched this National Leaguer snap it around last night. I've been watching him for the last couple of weeks. There's a little buzz. There's a little buzz in the desert.
There's a little buzz in I miss the desert.
I know you do.
I miss everything about the desert.
There was a different buzz when you were there. There's a different buzz.
We'll be reminded how good the desert is when we bring in this young stud. Clayton Keller, thanks for joining the boys here at Missin Curfew. Appreciate it. What's shaking?
Yeah, thanks for having me. Not much, just little homestand here before we go on the road for another long time again. So it's been good to see the arena, see the new wave of hockey kind of in Arizona, just moving out of Glendale and being in Tempe.
Yeah, let's start there before we get into Mullet Arena, because I want to dive into it. We're coming to Mullet Arena, by the way. We're coming in the new year. Where are the boys living now? You say you're out of Glendale. I know when the Updogg was there, he's in Scottsdale. Are most of the boys in Tempe, or have you guys found places yet? How's that working out for the fellas?
Yeah, so I think it's like about half and half. I would say the younger guys are kind of in the, PV Arcadia area. And then the guys with families and stuff like that are kind of in North Scottsdale. So it's actually pretty nice because, we're done practicing at Glendale. So we do everything at the ice then. So it's kind of in the middle of both. So it's 20 minutes either way. So it's nice that it's much closer.
By the way, so Scottsdale, amazing places to live.
Amazing
right
places
on the track.
To go too.
You'd have trouble not fucking swinging the sticks before a hockey match.
I'm just glad that you don't have to make that trip from fucking Scottsdale back to Glendale to the hotel before the night before the game. I'll tell you what, that was the longest cab ride in my career. I'm like, not again. I did it again.
I know. So Kels, when I was there, we all lived in North Scottsdale with DC Ranch, Greyhawk, whatever the case may be. Always wanted to maybe venture down into Old Town and live. I was single at the time, young, and some of the young players too. But the fact that you can, live in Paradise Valley now, it's a whole different city down there, right? Yeah. And then the college being where it's at. So, are you guys still practicing at the ice den and going down to what's kind of that collab like?
Yeah, so we're back to the ice then. I think everyone loves that. It's just like much closer and it's less of a drive. But it's I lived in North Scottsdale like my first couple of years, and then moved down here. And both spots are great. I think North Scottsdale's maybe a little more quiet and family and Old Town area and things like that. There's a lot of restaurants and it's just a great place to live, and there's just tons of things to do.
Gretzky was the only guy that lived down in Paradise Valley when I was playing there.
Did he?
Our coach, of course. It's like I'm like, Gretz, where you living? He's like, I live down there near Scottsdale Country Club. I'm like, wow.
I heard that's a nice track, Scottsdale.
It's just so damn hard to get out to Glendale, though. It was impossible.
Wayner probably had his own driver, didn't he?
He had his own driver. He had his own tennis coach at the time. We called him. He was 98.
You called him
was 99. He was 98. Yeah. So,
Clayton, I want to ask you. We were talking before we got on air here. You've been in the league for 6 years now, which kind of blew me away because when you first came in, you played with my boy Brad Richardson, who had nothing but great things to say about you. But when you first heard the news, like, okay, we're leaving Glendale, we're going to play in a 5,000-seat arena. What was your initial reaction? Like, all right, good, we're out of here. Or like, what the fuck, 500,000 fans? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, I think it kind of all happened so fast. Like, they were like, yeah, we're kind of moving away from Glendale. We're going to Tempe. And we're like, oh, we're going to play at ASU. They have a new rink. So I think, we were excited to kind of get out of Glendale. It's far away. And I think, a lot of our fans, obviously we have a lot of fans there, but a lot are, that live closer to North Scottsdale and PV and things like that. So I think, playing in Glendale, they didn't want to make the drive on the weekday games, and it's much closer now. But, I think, this is obviously temporary, and we're hoping for a new rink. And, once we get that, I think it'll be one of the best places to play in the NHL for sure. I
agree, bro. And the new plans look amazing. We started a rumor here that we believe you're going to get a new rink. And then we believe you're going to get Austin Matthews, too. We don't need to get in that with you. We don't want to get you in any trouble. But let's talk about Mullet Arena, man. Listen, the first couple games have been unbelievable. The fans are great. You boys you seem to be feeding off it. Is it better than you expected, or just that energy's been pretty fun to watch?
Yeah, it's definitely exciting. The home opener was great, and even the last couple games have been, just a good atmosphere. Obviously, it's small arena. It's different. It's like fun warm-ups in the first game. I was kind of like, what's going on? It's weird. It feels smaller. Like there's really no bad seat in the arena. Like, you can see the ice like perfectly from anywhere. And it's crazy. They have a student section. There's like no seats. It's just like bleachers. So that's they can get pretty rowdy, I guess. And, we're enjoying it, and
that's where we're sitting.
It's been good.
Well,
he never played in the American League here. He doesn't know about some of these greasy American League bars. So he's like, "What's going on here? Not every rink's 18,000."
Look at that flow he's got. You think he's gonna have to go through the minors with flow like that?
And then we'd have the big buildings in the American League. I mean, Uppy, when we first talked about Mullet Arena, I'm like, Uppy, remember the minors where they would put the curtain around the top row because there was no fucking
yeah, we like that. It kept everyone down. You got to see the talent that was in there. Like, where's this talent in Cincinnati here tonight, eh?
I mean, there wasn't much of it, but we could find it back then.
So far, like 3 games into Mullet Arena, what's been the highlight? Has been anything funny going on out there? What are the guys in the other team like saying you had a face off? Like, it must remind you of playing like, either college or junior program. I would love it personally. I think it would just be a great experience knowing that, there's something positive to come out of this on the other side, is that they're building a new arena for you. But, just facing off against these guys, is it cool out there? Do you feel like, things happen at a slower pace, maybe faster pace because it's so small?
I don't know. I think maybe a little faster. Like the boards are pretty fast, and like, if you rim a puck around, it kind of just like flies around, and little things like that. But I think, obviously with the locker room stuff right now is just like temporary for us and the away team. So like, obviously, like it's easy to complain about, stuff like that. But, once we play our next home games, I think it's in December, but it should be a much better setup. And I think, whenever we play, big name teams, we're always going to have a good crowd. And, they kind of had against the Rangers, we kind of had like a back and forth, the Rangers.
I bet.
And, let's go Rangers. And, the Coyotes fans were kind of getting there too, which was good to see. And it was actually, pretty loud, late in the third there.
I gotta admit, when I first saw the visiting locker room with the fucking curtains, I'm like, "There's nowhere to hide in there." Like, if you
turn 4 pucks over.
No, but if you went out the night before in Tempe and you walk in the morning, you're like with your coffee, you're like, "Where the fuck am I gonna hide here?" Like, the coach is right there. You're like, "Oh god, oh god."
What's the message from your guys? Is like, coach, like on guys, let's take advantage of this building. Like, obviously Vegas, right? They come in the league, their first year, they have the best home record in the league. Guys are coming in, they're blown away by downtown Vegas, and you kind of have that same feeling there in Scottsdale now. Like guys can go for the dinners, guys can do that. They're not stuck out in Glendale, which was brutal. But like, what's the message from your coach? Like, guys, let's catch them by surprise tonight. They're going to be all like, what the hell's going on?
The old Tempe flu.
Tempe flu. They were all out last night chasing it down
Uppy thinks
ASU campus.
Kels, Uppy thinks everyone was like him when he played, though, so he thinks the whole team.
No, so what's that message like for you guys at like a home game?
Yeah, definitely. I think, we want to use that as an advantage if we can. I think, it's obviously, like you said, it's more in the mix, and, there's lots of things to do. And, especially, even when we go to Vegas, it's like, all right, we want to gamble, do this stuff. And by the time you look at your phone, it's pretty late. And things like that.
You're like, there's no turning back now, boys.
Yeah. So I think, just trying to jump on teams early. And, I think when we have good starts, that's, when we're in the game and we're not chasing the game, that's when we can, compete with teams and win games.
Yeah, and this is just from watching you guys, but like, everyone's heard about it in the summer and it was a big joke. They're going to play in this little arena and then this and that. But like, to me, it feels like, and it starts with your play, but are you guys kind of rallying around this a little bit? Like, all right, people can say what they want about us, no high expectations. Like, I want to get into your power play, but even your 5-on-5 play, like all year long, you seem like you guys are on the same page and kind of rallying around like, all right, fuck, no one's taking us seriously here, whatever. We're going to come in here and play hard.
Yeah, definitely. I think, people, media can, say what they want about our team, but I think, we have a really good group of guys, good leaders, and it's just almost like it's a new feeling, just like, being at that arena and things like that. It's different. And I think guys are excited about it. And I was, just, it's a different feel, and, you're excited to play, new arena, things like that. So I think, it's been good so far.
You could put me in the category of the guys that were doubting you at the start of the year too, by the way, fella. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And it bit me in the ass, all right? You fucking stuck it to me. You stuck it to me in Toronto. They were like, -420. You guys beat them. Then you guys went in and hammered Columbus. So I'm on board with you. I'm on the Coyotes train, Updogg.
Yeah,
I'm on it.
I know.
I learned the hard way, but I'm in it now. And I wanted to talk to you about your power play. Like, you can say a lot what you want about the Arizona Coyotes. This power play is legit, fella, and you're a big part of it.
Yeah, I think Corey Stillman, he's our power play coach. He does a great job, keeps it really simple, and he doesn't put a million things into our head. He kind of just says make the play if it's there and read off each other. And I think it's something that we want to get better at in the recent years. We haven't been as good as we should have been. We had talent, we just couldn't make it click. And I think so far this year, we've kind of all been snapping around pretty good, and both units have been contributing, and we just want to keep that up.
Yeah, good thing you don't have John Madden taking care of that power play.
Where did I see Mads? Well, he's coaching you guys. I'm like, I saw Mads on the bench somewhere.
I was like, keep him away from the power play. Everyone be throwing bricks around each other. I love Mads. We had him in Florida.
Big guy.
Talk about, you want to talk about the power play still? Because it is.
Yeah. I just want to pull this up real quick.
I want to talk about your jerseys.
Yeah.
When I was a Phoenix Coyote, you never got to wear those jerseys. And that, to me, I look back at like the Tony Amonte and Jeremy Roenick and those guys.
Kachuk.
Yeah, they wore those jerseys and they're badass. You guys got them back. Is it, do they feel good to put on? Because the red Coyote that I was wearing back in the day, it just wasn't like that fucking sexy jersey. Now you guys are wearing black and it's fucking, it's badass.
Yeah, no, I think everyone loves it. I think it's, it's a great jersey, and it's, I didn't watch too much Coyotes hockey like when I was growing up, but
don't worry, nobody did. Don't worry.
I do remember those jerseys, and when Walt was there, I remember him, JR, Rick Tocchet, guys like that who wore that jersey, and they were playing in, downtown Phoenix, and they just the whiteouts, things like that. So I think it's so awesome that they brought those back and we're able to wear those. I think they're, one of the best jerseys in the NHL for sure.
Yeah, that's a great point. But I was joking, no one watched when you were in our era, but that era before us, when they played downtown in the old basketball and they had the whiteout, I've said this from day one about, the Arizona Coyotes. Like, in my opinion, you guys aren't going anywhere. Like, good fans, there's fans there. Everyone knows Glendale was the problem. Like, you have that feeling of, listen, boys, this is just temporary. We know we can survive here, and let's just worry about the product on the ice.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think, like I said, I think it's just, a temporary thing. And, we've seen, some of the stuff that they want to do at the new arena and just how unbelievable that would be. And like I said earlier, I think it truly would be one of the best places to play. It's, easy living. People's family love it here. There's golf, restaurants, just kind of the full package. And, I think, if that gets done, it's, like I said, one of the best places to play.
As a young skill guy on your squad, what's it like to know that Bill Armstrong brought in some toughness for a kid like you? You bring in Cassie and you got Nick Ritchie. What's it like to know that, your team's not going to get, thrown around a little bit and you guys are going to play hard every night?
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, I think, having those guys on your team means everything, just every single night, someone might not run you just because of, guys that we have on our team. And if they do, they answer the bell. So I think it's great to have those guys. OB, we have a lot of guys that are tough and, always, having each other's backs.
Yeah, I got to ask you about Liam O'Brien. I love this kid. Obviously, the last name was what intrigued me to him, but I've watched this game. You boys call him the Big Tuna. Is that his nickname, or what do you boys?
Yeah. OB Tuna.
Yeah. He was just chirping Kachuk last night. He's got the beard, the flow. He seems just like an old school. I like to have a couple cold ones with that guy. So tell him I might have to hook up with him when I come to watch you boys play in Tempe.
Yeah, you should. He's the best.
I got to ask you about my boy Nick Ritchie. I know I've known Rich for a long time in San Diego. I play with him. We all know what happened to him in Toronto, but he seems like he's fit in well with you guys. Scored a great power play goal last night. Did you throw him the little pass where he ripped the cheese? Was that you, or I couldn't remember?
Yeah.
Nice dish, by the way. But I mean, he can play. How big he is, he can play.
Yeah, no, he's a great player. When he got traded to us last year, he made an immediate impact. Good power forward. He's got good hands. He shoots it so hard, and he's good around the net. So I think he's been, a great player for our team and has really helped us out. And he's, great guy off the ice as well.
Is he? I hope his place is a little cleaner than it was when I played with him. He was a rookie. I'm like, Rich, you can't even bring a girl back here. Like, look at this fucking place. Like,
as soon as he hears that, you think he'd throw the sheets in the wash or something.
I teed him up. My cleaning lady in San Diego. I said once a week, Rich, she's coming in to clean your place because this is not National League. I know we're in the jungle, but fuck, this is bad.
Yeah, I'll have to ask him.
Clayton, talk to me. Late March. And I shot you a text. I met you at the All-Star game. I saw you there. Congrats on that. I think, so far 6 years in, you've had a hell of a career. Talk a little bit about, the injury and the road to recovery and coming back and being, already at the top of your game. And just, for people that don't know, there's ups and downs, and you go through a summer battling a really crazy injury. But just talk about kind of the progress and how you're feeling now, and just, I guess how you've had to change different things and protocols and the way you prepare and all that stuff.
Yeah. I was at the end of the year last year, I was probably having my best year without a doubt. And just, an unfortunate, injury. And, I've never really been injured. I've been lucky. And so that was kind of new to me. And I think, the biggest thing, I think, I learned a lot about my body just from doing different things, different rehab, things to try to make me feel good again. Basically, I think, it took a while for me to really feel like myself. And then, skating for the first time, that took a while as well, just to feel good, to feel strong. It was just a long road, but, I had so many people that really helped me, and, I'm kind of on the end of it. So it's been, it went by, I guess, pretty slow, but it was long. Not many people really know what you go through when you're injured. I'm usually, working out, golfing, and doing things like that. But it was a little, slower, just resting. Going to the gym, doing, different rehab things. 3 times a day, just grinding away. And it was great to be able to be back for the first game. It was kind of my goal ever since the injury.
You sound so humble about it. You sound so humble about it. What did you actually have done? Like what kind of fucking plates do you have in your leg?
Yeah,
right now?
so it was a broken femur, so they put a rod and 2 screws in there, so it's pretty strong now. They said.
Yeah,
so that should be good. Yeah, it wasn't just a small little thing. It was yeah.
It's crazy. And rehab, I was lucky. I never had too many, but when I did have little nagging injuries, rehab's the worst, right? You're like, I got this little thing you got to do. Like, to go through that, I don't think our listeners realize, and you've been injured, like, it's the worst part trying to come back. It's so hard. It
makes you a whole new person, by the way, Clayton. You're gonna have things happen to you, and you'll always go back to, like, you know what, I conquered this and I got back for the first game of the year. Mentally, like, even what we talked about with our guest we had on the other day about visualization and like you wanting to be back in the lineup for opening night, and just the power of how your body can heal and how you can get back to another level. It's amazing. So, the bonus of something like this happening at a young age for you is that you already have conquered it, right? Yeah. It's like fucking climbing a mountain, man. You've done it once now, and you can always do it again. But it's good to see you back and buzzing, man. I'm super proud of you, bud.
Yeah, I want to ask you about your head coach. I'd say his name, but I'd probably fucking butcher it here. But he seems like, I've had him on my XM show with Cooley a couple times and talked about the process and like, we come in here and try to win the day. Is that the message he's telling you boys is, just come in here, try to win this day, win the game, small little steps kind of?
Yeah, definitely. He's been great from day one. He's definitely a player's coach, and he's going to play who's playing the best, no matter the night. And we put a big emphasis on practice here. We practice a lot. We practice very hard, and I think it's some guys have different things to say about it, but it's everyone loves it. It gets you in shape. I think it was the best I felt on the ice just after training camp last year, and even this year, just from those practices and things like that. I just felt in shape, and he's a great guy, and he's hard on you, but the next day it's like nothing happened, and he's always willing to listen and talk to you. So he's great to have.
I always like the coaches that put the skating involved in the practice, right? Like you can skate me as much as you want during the drills.
And you will after the practice is over.
But not after practice. Don't be like, hey, line up there and let's do some fucking sideboards. I'm like, what do you mean? Like,
up and down.
Like let's do it. Like let's do the drills where we're
creativity,
like,
coach.
I'll give Torts credit. Like Torts was great at that. Like our practices were up and down pace, and when they were done, they were done. It wasn't like, all right, we're done. Let's do some sideboards.
It was the old hidden bag skate.
Hidden bagger.
It was tucked right in there. You didn't even know it was there.
I'd rather that though than get on the line and give me fucking like.
I'd rather to know the punishment's like right in my face.
Bob Hartley would just fucking drill us and then be like, all right, 2 mountains to finish her off. And I'm like, mountains? Are you kidding me? Mountains? I want to ask you about this 14-game road trip you got coming up. There was a day I would be excited about this 14-day road trip. How you boys? I know you just got back from the road. It is what it is. I think for me, I talked about the Calgary Flames today. They've been at home forever. I think they need to get out on the road. Maybe a good thing for you boys. I know 14 days a lot. You'll be able to come back for a little bit, but what's the mindset? Just get after it?
Yeah, I think we just got back from a long one too, and I think it felt long at the end, but going through it kind of went by pretty quick, I guess. We had some team bonding stuff. We had some days off, so we kind of got the guys together. And when you're having fun like that, it definitely makes it go by quicker. And I think it can bring a team closer. And I think that's what that trip did for us. And I think this next long one here will be the same. I think it's obviously a long trip, a lot of games, but I think we're excited. I think I like the road. I think it's fun. You get to go to different cities, nice restaurants, things like that. So it's whatever it is.
The finer things of the league. The finer things of the league.
Yeah, exactly.
I was gonna say.
I tell you what, you get that nice hotel. You fucking close those blinds. You get in the sheets. You're like, fucking.
I used to open the blinds and get the hell out of there.
I'm talking about whatever time you get home. I kind of shut her down here.
Clayton, what do you like to do on the road when you get a night off? Like say you're in New York City, you get 2 nights off. Are you checking out like new restaurants with the boys? Are you going to a concert? What's kind of, I used to go to concerts.
Updogg went to concerts.
You know who I used to go to concerts with actually is your one of your TV personalities, Todd Walsh. He's a big Pearl Jam guy. Walsh is a big Pearl Jam guy. In fact, knows Eddie Vedder well. So you got to say what's.
Yeah.
So if you ever want to talk Pearl Jam, talk to Walshy about it.
Alrighty, I will. I think it depends. I think dinners are always fun to do, and I think obviously New York's a great spot for that, and but I haven't gone to any concerts to be honest.
That's okay, kid. Don't worry. Don't go on the Updogg program. Let's keep you going here. Let's keep you on the right track.
A concert, you can still get home by 11.
Hey, what time did you get home? Don't lie to me. You get home.
You stick around, meet the band.
You guys smoking doobies with Jay-Z.
Oh, that's funny.
Hey, I want to ask one question, Kels. My boy Brad Richardson had nothing but great things to say about you. Now that it's kind of crazy, probably crazier for you, but you're a veteran, especially on this team. Like, what guys do you look back at that helped you, or you can kind of take some stuff they taught you to these young guys now? Yeah,
Ritchie was definitely one of them. He was one of my favorite guys to ever play with. He was awesome. Derek Stepan was great to me my first year. Those 2 guys obviously coming in, they had played lots of games, won Stanley Cups, been in those big moments. And I think, when they're telling you stuff at the time, you're kind of just like, yeah, okay. And then you look back on it and they're like, yeah, he was right. And he knows what he's talking about. And you respect those guys, and just so thankful for, the knowledge that they told me, and just, whether it's leadership or, different things in the game. They were so smart and good to us young guys. Cause my first year, I think we had 5, 6 guys that was our first or second year in the league. So they were super great to us. And I'm just super thankful for everything that they did.
You playing cards on the plane or what? You play cards, you shut her down?
We used to have a good card game in Phoenix. We did. Fucking Jovo and
Fiddler. Taking a trip down memory lane here on you.
Marty
Hansel.
I said Marty Havel. Marty, he had double aces on his forearm. He was a mutant up there.
Yeah,
he could snap a draw back.
He could snap a draw. He was strong. And he used that like... Did he use a wood stick or what?
Probably.
Do you play cards on the bird, or what's going on with the card game?
A little bit, yeah. We play a little bit. Lately, we used to play 7 up, 7 down, schnarps, spades,
Yeah.
blackjack. Yeah, we used to play
Schnarps. I missed
7 up,
that.
7 down with Phil. He was pretty funny. Him and well, I guess a couple years ago, him and Michael Grabner used to go at it. He's got the ace tattooed on him too somewhere.
I'll tell you,
he was the best card player.
I'll tell you a Grabby's story. We're in Vancouver and Grabs, he's a young guy. He's a rook. He's sitting at the card table. I'm like, what in the fuck is going on here? They're like, come on, Oops, don't be that guy. I'm like, all right. And I don't know if he was stinky when you played with him, but like, finally he was like sitting down here. I said, hey kid, if you're gonna play, hey Rook, if you're gonna play, put some deodorant on, all right? I was like, hey. He was the stinky kid at the table.
Was he already? You talk about him and Kessel, two different human beings. Was he already just jacked? That Grabner
was just he was so jacked. Hey, how jacked was Grabner?
No, he's now with this completely
shredded.
Yeah. Shredded. Yeah.
He was young. I said, there's free deodorant in the NHL.
You know what I miss about coming off the bird in Phoenix is the fucking cars, like driving home on the freeways there, because the freeways are nice and you can just let it unleash. Like we would just have car after car. Is there any nice fucking cars the boys driving home? Like, because the stretch of freeway when you come back at 2 a.m. is just, it's all yours. And you're just like, boom.
You weren't speeding, were you?
Ah, we were speeding. Fuck, of course.
I was definitely raced before from the airport, but
any nice rides on that car on that team? You guys got any? You know, the Florida Panthers led the league last year in fucking nice cars.
Yeah,
everyone had a.
I'm trying to think when OEL was here, he had a nice Lambo that was obviously pretty fast. We got some Teslas, Mercedes, but nothing too crazy.
It's better parking lot than the Calgary Flames and Edmonton Oilers, I can guarantee you that. All right, everybody, Kels, we appreciate you taking the time in a busy schedule. We know as ex-guys, there's no not a lot of downtime, but hey, I'm pulling for you boys. Keep it going. I think you're good for the game, good for Arizona, and keep going to that backhand sauce, buddy. That sells tickets. It's good for escrow. It's good for escrow. It's good for escrow.
Sounds good. Thank you so much for having me on.
Welcome back to Mr. Curfew. Thank you to Clayton Keller. Updogg, you're a fucking beauty, man. That was a great interview. That was just, I
miss getting off that bird.
I think we had more fun than he did, but thanks to him taking time out of his schedule. Yeah, great kid.
I think he enjoyed it.
My favorite part was, you talking about tripped out. You're like, my favorite part about playing in Phoenix? Getting off that plane and just getting on those freeways. Those
excited.
are nice freeways.
Think about the card games and the drinking the beers and
I had to ask about the card games.
The Stewies and the full on. It was a full time we had.
What a league.
It was great. What a league.
I know.
We had a great group of guys in Phoenix. We had Jans, we had BMO.
Yeah.
We had a great Demo. Geez, I said BMO.
Derek Morris.
Beauty.
I used to chirp with him a lot for whatever reason. Me and him would chirp each other.
You'd have loved him. You'd have loved being his D partner too.
For sure.
Made a good
great
pass.
Right-handed D man. I would have loved to play with him. Loved it.
So we had a good bunch of guys there.
If you actually think
Matthew
about
Lombardi, beauty.
We always talk about what a league and National League, but think about it. Like you go to practice, you snap it around, you jump in your sick car, you go to the airport, you walk right on the plane, get on the plane, there's food everywhere, booze, play cards with the boys, fly a couple hours, get on the bus, sick hotel, go to dinner, play. It's like, what? You're like, what? Hey, you got a couple girls lined up and you're like, this is what they're paying me how much to do this? It's just like
for the odd bruised elbow and block a shot.
There's lots of other stuff that we went through.
Deal with the coach all over.
Yeah, there's that stuff too. Like and now the lineup, but when you just look at that part of it, the finer things,
it's the National League. That's why it's so fucking hard to get there.
I know.
Even harder to stay.
I'm a fan. I was a fan of this kid before, but I thought he was unbelievable. They're fun to watch. We're gonna go to Mullet Arena for sure. Their power play Updogg. I'm telling you,
power play's good.
It's crispy.
Tough.
It's crispy. Nick Ritchie couldn't play for the Leafs. Too slow. He said, "Oh well, he's got fucking 4 goals,
4 PPs,
6 points."
Yeah.
Lawson Krause, the kid I love on their team, old school. They got some good pieces.
Some jam,
And
Bill Armstrong's done a great job.
Their jerseys.
Came from the Blues.
Their jerseys.
Fuck.
They fuck. Because the ones you wore, the red and white ones, like
they weren't perfect.
They weren't great.
It was the Howl at the Moon ones. Yeah. These are fucking Coyote ones.
Yeah, these are Coyote ones. So, Updogg, thank you for getting him. Clayton Keller, unbelievable. That was Missin Curfew. Fella.